Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome dear learners. This is a video for the subject of education, for the course of Bachelor's in Education and for the paper of Educational Technology. This video is going to discuss about the teaching learning strategies and materials, and the topic which is going to be dealt here in this lecture is related to the meaning and principles of programmed instructions. This video lecture is recorded by Dr. Iram Khan. The course coordinator and the presenter of this video is Dr. Iram Khan from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. The academic expert or the reviewer of this video is Professor Nasreen Mujib from Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Video is produced under the project named as DTH Swayam Prabha Channels of Ministry of Education, Government of India. Hello my dear students, I am Dr. Iram Khan, Assistant Professor at Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Today we are going to have a discussion on the topic which is related to teaching learning strategies and materials, and this topic is on programmed instructions, meaning and principles. So we will be discussing the meaning and principles of programmed instruction in this lecture. The objectives of this session will be to discuss the meaning and characteristics of programmed instructions, to elaborate the fundamental principles of programmed instructions, and to describe the advantages of programmed instruction. So let us start our discussion. So programmed instruction, what exactly this means? At times we also call it as programmed learning. Basically, programmed instruction represents one of the effective innovations in the teaching learning process. As a highly individualized and systematic instructional strategy, this particular thing, which is called as programmed instruction, has been found quite useful for classroom instruction as well as self-learning or auto-instruction strategies. And in particular in our country, we have seen that there have been attempts for the use of programmed instructions, especially in providing material to the students of correspondence courses or those students who are studying in the distance mode. And nowadays, in case of MOOCs, we can find it happening everywhere. And MOOCs have basically actualized this programmed learning strategy in a very well extent. So suitable self-instructional program materials for different subjects and grades have been prepared, and it is being used for instructional or in self-instructional purposes. So basically, whenever we are talking about a program learning approach, there the self-instruction or self-paced learning comes into picture. So program learning occupies a unique place in the teaching and learning of all the school subjects or the college subjects, and especially those which require logical and systematic study, which is coupled with independent practice and a lot of skill practice, basically skill work which is to be practiced. So we can see that nowadays the program learning approach is very much helpful in developing the online courses which are very popular nowadays, and they are helping us out to extend a lot of several courses which earlier were not possible for us to extend. So in this way, program learning approaches are becoming very useful in the present scenario, where online teaching and learning is the only way in which we can manage our smooth sailing of the teaching learning process. Let us try to see that what exactly is the conventional meaning or definitions of programmed learning. Generally, the learning which is performed or the instruction which is provided by a teaching machine or programmed textbook or somehow some mechanical way in which the instructions are uh, transmitted was involved, that is referred to as the programmed learning or instruction. And they are all earlier were not very popular, but after the coming up of the online platforms, the online teaching scenario has become very popular because of the feasibility, and also once the internet has become popular to every person who is sitting at any remotest end of our country. Now internet is in the hands of those people because we have got smartphones and we can access all those platforms and the courses, online courses, through the smartphones itself. So it has come up with a different way. But conventionally, what exactly can be the definition of programmed learning? Let us see few of those definitions. The first definition which I would like to mention here, which is given by Smith and Moore in the year 1962, it says, under quotes, programmed instruction is the process of arranging the material to be learned into a series of sequential steps. Usually, it moves the students from a familiar background into a complex and new set of concepts, principles, and understanding. Quotes close. So this is the first definition. The second definition is given by Leith in the year 1966. This definition says that program is a sequence of small steps of instructional material, which is often called as frames, most of which require a response to be made by completing a blank space in a sentence. To ensure that expected responses are given, a system of queuing is applied, and each response is verified by the provision of immediate knowledge of result. Such a sequence is intended to be worked at the learner's own pace as individualized self-instruction. Quotes close. So these two definitions basically inform us a very conventional meaning of programmed learning, that we used to make some material which is queued at a system, and on somehow on a self-paced basis, or maybe the teacher instructed basis, the student is going to get all those material and the student is going to learn from these material. So this was somehow the conventional and the old meaning of programmed learning. But nowadays, with the extent of with the coming up of MOOCs, massive open online courses, it has come up as something which is instrumental in the teaching learning scenario. But the basics are the same. If we see the basics of MOOCs, we will find that somehow the programmed learning approach is actualized. So we will see here that what are those important things which we have to know about the programmed learning. So after these definitions, let us see what exactly is next which we have to learn about it. So the next point, which is very important for all of us to understand, is that what exactly are the characteristic features of programmed instruction or programmed learning. So the first feature or the first characteristics is that programmed learning or programmed instruction is a method or technique of giving or receiving individualized instruction from a variety of sources, such as maybe we are developing a programmed textbook, or nowadays we call that textbook as the smart book, or a teaching machine, and computers or computer assisted learning systems, with or without the help of a teacher. Then in this particular technique, the instructional material is logically sequenced and broken into suitable small parts or steps or segments of the subject matter, and this is typically called as the frames. Then, for sequencing a particular unit of the instructional material, the programmer basically who is developing the program, has to pay consideration for the initial or entry behavior of the learner, with which it begins, and the terminal behavior or the competence which the student is required to achieve. So this is something which the programmer, the course developer, has to know of. What exactly will be the entry behavior, the previous understanding or the previous knowledge of the learner, and then once the course is complete, or we have ended the entire practice, then what is the competency level, what increased competency level is now can be seen in this learner. So this is something which is to be planned beforehand in the program learning approach. Then in actual operation, basically that small segment which is called as a frame, uh, this frame, which is a small but meaningful segment of the subject matter, is presented to the learner. So we cannot provide the entire material to all together. We provide small parts or the frames to the learner. The learner is required to read or listen, or maybe whatever means of media we are using. That particular frame or the subject matter is to be learned by the student. That learning can be by reading or by listening, and or by viewing, and then responding actively. So this is the next point. Then the learner here is intended that, because the learner is at the center point, this learning system has an adequate provision for immediate feedback that is based on the theory of reinforcement. So whatever the learner is experiencing, that is also very much important, because every single frame is having a section where feedback can be given by the student, either in the form of questions or maybe some sort of the chats which are preceded. So the feedback process is very sound here in the program learning systems. For instance, while responding to the first frame of the program material, the learner is informed about the correctness of his or her response. If the learner is correct, his or her responses are reinforced. And if the learner reinforced in a positive way, obviously, and if the learner is wrong, this learner may correct himself by receiving the correct answer. So here, once you have responded wrongly, then also there is some sort of assistance or reinforce which is given by this program in the form of providing a correct answer. So it automatically becomes a motivating factor, and the learner tends to go ahead, because now the learner has achieved first phase by getting the right answer. If the learner has given it by himself or herself, that is the best thing. But in case the learner is not able to answer correctly, then also the system provides the right answer. So now the learner knows that what exactly is the right answer, and the learner is now ready to move ahead. Then the next point is that, because the interaction is happening, this interaction between the learner and the learning material or the program. Actually, the learning material is in the form of a program. So we can say that the interaction between the learner and the program is happening. Basically, this interaction emphasized in the program learning is the most important thing. Because if you are a learner and you are getting this particular frame or program or the learning material in front of you, and you are not able to understand, or you are not able to actually comprehend everything, then it will be very difficult for you to move to the next frame. So it is up to you that how much time you are going to take. And this particular process, because it's a self-paced process, then you will be, as a learner, you will be actively motivated to learn and respond, because here nothing is going to move ahead of you. You will be moving ahead. Once you will comprehend everything, then only you will move to the next frame. So this is something where your active involvement, your motivation, and the responses which you provide are given the most importance. Now, the programmed instructions provide self-pacing. We all know that most of the online courses which are following the programmed learning approach, they are self-paced. Even if we go to some of those learning management systems which provide a lot of learning materials, and they are nowadays somehow the most popular ways of providing learning assistance to our children, they all are self-paced. And that is why the learning which is happening right now in in the way of programmed learning, this may occur at individual rate rather than the general sort of classroom approach, which is this learning is depending upon the nature of the learner. And the learner is somebody who is actually controlling the entire process. Learning material, learning situations, everything is in the way in which the learner is trying to make it up. So if you want to complete this chapter in 2 days, it's up to you. If you want to complete this chapter in 1 week, even the program provides you the opportunity to complete it in 1 week. So most of the programs are self-paced, but we have got few programs which are uh, very much bound with the curriculum, and the programs are actually credit transfer programs. You can find that they are time bound. So the time bound programs also provide some opportunity to repeat the things and comprehend, but self-pacing is a lot of self-pacing is not available there, but most of the times we find that the program learning approach provides us self-paced programs for learning. Now, the programmed instructions or the programmed learning calls for the overt responses of the learner that can readily be observed, measured, and effectively controlled. What exactly it means? Like we can see that a lot of students are not able to speak up in the class in front of the peer group and maybe to the teacher itself. But here, because the system, the machine is the one to whom they are actually reacting to, and the machine is providing them this learning experience, so they become very overt in terms of providing responses. So it's a good way in which we can find them interacting with the system, and we can even measure and effectively control. Like if a teacher is running a course, that the teacher can see the progress and the evaluation, because the evaluation is assisted by the machine. So the machine is going to evaluate that what the student's progress is, and the teacher can take a look after some time, and the teacher can make out that how the student is progressing. Then the program learning has the provision for continuous evaluation that may help in improving the student's performance and the quality of program material. So basically, because of the integrated evaluation systems, we can monitor the progress of the students. So this is a very good thing which can be seen to be changing the entire education arena, where we can get to learn more from various teachers from various universities. If we are sitting here in a confined place where we are not able to go out, then also we can take up a course over the internet from any of the course platforms, and the program learning services, the program learning approach through which the courses are teaching us can be very much helpful for enhancing our knowledge. So on the basis of all these features which we have just discussed, we can now define program learning with a very concise words. Let us try to do this. So program learning is a systematically planned, empirically established, and effectively controlled self-instructional technique for providing individualized instruction to the learner through logically sequenced small segments of the subject matter by using the principles of operant conditioning and schedules of reinforcement. So this is a small definition which we can make out by all these characteristic features. And we have used 2 3 words here which are which might be known to you all, or maybe few of you would not be knowing those words, like the operant conditioning, the schedules of reinforcement, and all those. So in due course of the lecture, we are going to have the complete knowledge of all these typical words which come from the psychology, and they are now integrated here in educational technology. When we talk about the program learning, we have to know about the operant conditioning and schedules of reinforcement and all. And I will be discussing everything very much discreetly in due course of the lectures. So let us move ahead so that we can see that what else is the important thing which we should know if we are talking about program learning. So there are few fundamental principles. So the studies and the researches in the field of program learning have led to the establishment of some fundamental principles which are associated with the good program learning strategy. What are these fundamental principles? We are just having a look on all these principles. The first principle, which is the most important, is the principle of small steps. We have seen that the program learning follows frame approach, where the subject matter is divided into small segments, which is called as frames. So this principle of small steps, or the frames, what exactly it says, basically this principle is based on the basic assumption that a person learns better if the content matter is presented to the learner in suitable small steps. If we provide everything in one go, there is a possibility of a lot of confusion. But if we provide step by step, small morsels, it will be easier for the learner to comprehend those small parts of the subject matter. And therefore, a programmer or the course developer, while preparing a program, actually this course developer should have to try to arrange the subject matter into a properly sequenced and meaningful segment of information. And typically we call them as the frames. So these segments should be presented one at a time. And after the learner has acquainted with, the learner has comprehended with the first part, then only we have to receive the responses from the learner, and then only we can move ahead to provide the second part. So we have to provide one by one, and we have to wait for the response of the learner, and then only we have to go with the next part. Then the next principle is the principle of active responding. What exactly is this? This principle rests on the assumption that a learner learns better by being active. So if a student is very active in the classroom, there is much probability that this learner is going to learn in a proper way. So in the program learning, the learner may remain active if the learner responds actively to every frame, every single piece of information presented to him or her. We can find that this learner is active in the course or in the this teaching learning process. And therefore, a good program should actively involve the learner in the learning process. It should be formed in a way that the learner may not feel much difficulty in moving from one frame to another and to remain intact with the program in a meaningful way. Basically, this learner should be busy, and this learner should be active in the program itself. And how we can make out? By the responses of the learner which he or she is giving to the frames. So we have provided some study material, and now we have to expect that what exactly is the response, how the learner is approaching to the questions or to the evaluation questions, if they are in the form of MCQs or in the form of any other type of questioning, the learner how actively is taking up the queries and how actively is performing all those suggested activities. And basically, we are checking that how the acquisition of knowledge step by step is happening. So this is the second principle of the active response. The third principle is the principle of immediate reinforcement. The psychological phenomenon of reinforcement is the basis of this principle. One person learns better if the person is motivated to learn by receiving information of the result just immediately after responding. So you can even find this particular thing happening if you have taken a test in your class. You will find that from the next day onwards, the students are going to ask you about the result. So you have to say that yet you have not checked the copies, or maybe if you have checked, then you have to tell them the marks. So they are very much eager to know that what exactly is their performance, which they have done in the test. So in the same way, this entire system, which is run by a program or by a machine, here also, if the learner knows that what exactly is the result of whatever activities the learner has performed, and if the response comes immediately, the learner feels much motivated to go ahead. And therefore, in a good program, appropriate consideration is always made for the provision of immediate reinforcement by informing him or her, basically the learner, about the correctness of the responses which they have given. So this was the next principle. Now the next principle which I wish to mention is the principle of self-pacing. So program learning is a technique of individualized instruction. We have now knowing this particular thing, it is established up to right now. So this particular individualized instruction, how it is possible? It is basically based on the basic assumption that learning can take place better if an individual is allowed to learn on his or her own pace. If you are not actually asking the student to do that particular task in a particular time frame, if you allow him to complete this task in the best way possible, in the time in which whatever he or she is requiring according to his or her own requirement of time, you can find that the student will bring up a better result if the student takes his own time or her own time. So a good program should always take care of the principle of self-pacing. The programming of the material should be done in view of the principle of individual difference, and the learner should be able to respond and move from one frame to another according to the learner's own speed of learning. So we should not see that every learner as a individual who can do everything in the same way. Individuals are different in everything. So we have got individual differences in our students, in our learners, and we should respect that individual difference. So here the program provides them to work on their own pace and actually uh, perform better and give better results. Then the next principle is the principle of student testing. For better learning, it is always good to see continuous evaluation of the learning process. The principle of student testing meets this requirement of the continuous evaluation of the learning process. In the program learning, the learners have to leave the record of whatever responses they have given, because now it requires to, like, the every learner has to require has a requirement of writing a response for each frame on a response sheet. So this detailed record helps in revising the program. So whatever feedback you give as a learner, you are provided with a space where after like going through the subject matter, the frame, you have to give some response. You have to either answer some questions or you have to write some of the short notes or anything, or maybe you have to write the responses in the form of the feedback, that how you found the subject matter or something like that. So this something which you have written, or you have answered the questions and the questions are evaluated and the marks are actually got, the system actually gets the cue that what exactly is something where the system needs improvement, and this provides the entire system, the entire program, cues for improvement. This detailed record helps in revising the program, and it may also provide a good source for studying and improving the complex phenomenon of human learning. So this is the principle of student testing. Let us now see what exactly are the advantages of the programmed learning or programmed instruction. Programmed learning may help in individualizing the instructional process. The scope of self-pacing gives opportunity to the students for learning with their own speed, without obstruction and any kind of difficulty. Anybody is not going to tell them that now you have to stop, now you have to start. Basically, they are going to follow their own way, their own path. Then the program instructions provide feeding material to the self-instructional devices such as computer, teaching machines, and program text. And these devices help the students in the task of self-learning, to solve the problem of paying individual attention, to solve the problem of dearth of trained and effective teachers. So if in a school good teachers are not available, then also these online programs are going to help the students to actually uh, go ahead with a proper teaching learning process. These programs also help in revolutionizing, developing, and providing the techniques of self and mass education, because one program can be taken up by many of the students, masses of students, because the program itself provides the opportunity that it can be taken up by any number of students. Programmed instructions may free the teachers from the hard labor and complexities of routine classroom activities. This something is going to give them a lot of liberty, and it may help them to bear a larger load of the students and devote their time to more creative activities. So the teachers can also be a little bit liberated to do whatever they want to do. The social setting of the classroom may be properly improved, and the problem of discipline gets solved automatically with the help of programmed instructions. Programmed instructions provide an effective teaching strategy on account of few things, and these things include: the content may be thoroughly analyzed and presented in suitable steps and logical sequences, then the instructional objectives should be properly set, reinforcement and feedback should be properly provided. So you have to think of beforehand that what type of feedback you are expecting, and if this type of feedback is received, then what will be the way in which you are going to reinforce the students. Then the learners get the opportunity for self-learning and initiating their responses. The learner is basically actively involved in the task of learning. So this learner is provided with sufficient motivation, sustained attention, and interest. And everything is uh, uh, is basically to be planned beforehand. Then the learner gets proper opportunity for self-assessment of his or her own performance. So this type of functionality should be there in the program, that the learner can go for the self-assessment. and self-paced assessments must be the integrated part of the programs. Further, the program instructions may prove useful in the enrichment of curriculum and in this way in the education of the exceptional children also. Because here the exceptional children, those who are having special type of requirements, they can also go with their own pace, and because machine learning uh, is there, so a lot of assistive technology can be integrated, which will be very useful for the students. It may also be effectively used in providing guidance and remedial instruction. Then the programmed instruction helps in the development of interrogative, judgmental, and creative learning. The power of discrimination and making immediate and effective response is developed through such instructions. And there are various special areas of the curriculum and many complex behaviors and skills that can be effectively improved and mastered through the program learning technique. For example, for a lot of practical based learning areas where a lot of practice or the practical work is involved in those subjects, where like in the subject of chemistry or physics or maybe other subjects where a lot of practical work is involved, then the concept formation and learning of principles and similar other intellectual and motor skills, wherever the involvement of all these things are there, we can be effectively using this program learning approach for providing a better learning environment for our learners. So we can see that it has got a lot of advantages and better situations where program learning can be used for a very proper learning environment, for creating a proper learning environment and providing the learning process in a better way. So in this way, we can say that program learning may prove a big helping hand in all the tasks and the aspects of education. It is very helpful for a teacher as well as the learner. The fear that it is going to displace either the regular classroom teaching or the teachers is basically baseless. If this is something which is a confusion in the minds of many people, that maybe the massive open online courses or all those online activities can replace the teacher or the classroom, but it is baseless. It always works for providing assistance to the teachers, to the students, and the educational administration or the people who are involved in the educational administration process for playing their roles for more effectively um, running the entire educational process with great care and the convenience in a more systematic and organized way for realizing the specific instructional objectives and broader educational purposes, especially in the scenario in which right now we are placed in. You can find that going for MOOCs or any of the online practices, online courses is helping us a lot. Even the teachers are in a position to provide all those specific learning material to the students by getting the study material from all those. Even we can go for a particular MOOC and we can pick and choose the material. We can go to any of the platforms and we can pick and choose the material and we can provide it to our learners. We can use the flipped classroom approach and can give the material beforehand, and then we can start the discussion on the basis of that particular material. So it is very much assistance, like providing assistance to the students as well as the teachers. So we never ever have to think of that it is going to replace any of our teachers or our classroom, regular classroom teaching process. Now we have reached to the conclusion part. Let us just sum up what exactly we have studied just now. We have seen that program learning represents one of the most effective innovations in the field of teaching learning that provides very useful system to all of us It proves very helpful in the development of an appropriate self-instructional or self-learning material in a quite systematic and organized way by making use of the 5 basic principles which we have studied just now. The development of such a material, in fact, paves the way for the preparation of the textbooks used in self-learning on the part of the students and the development of the needed software for the computer programmers. What are those 5 basic principles we have just studied? The 5 basic principles are named as the principle of small steps, principle of active responding, principle of immediate responding, principle of self-pacing, and the principle of student testing. So these all together try to create a conducive environment where the program learning works in a very proper way. We have also seen a lot of advantages which can be received with the help of the program learning approach. It can be a useful tool for the teachers and the students in all those difficult situations. Right now, we are finding the online programs very useful in the situation where we are in, where it is difficult for us to go to the physical, like physically go to our schools. We are running the classes through online mode, and we are taking the help of the material which is provided over the internet. And if it is a structured material in the form of a program, which is typically an online course, it becomes very useful for the teachers and the students, and never ever it intends to replace the teacher. This is something which is very important to understand. It is going to assist the teachers and assist the students to learn in a better way. These are few of those references and the suggested links which were used while developing the lecture. We have got another lecture which is going to help us out to understand the different types of the program learning approach. I hope that this particular lecture is going to help you to understand the basics of program learning, and hopefully we will see each other in another session another time. Thank you for this time. Dear learners, you are watching a video on teaching learning strategies and materials, and in this lecture we discuss the programmed instructions, their meaning and principles. This video lecture was recorded by faculty at home during the homebound situation of COVID-19 pandemic using minimal technical resources. Technical errors, if any, are unintentional and may please be ignored. For any queries with regard to this lecture or broadcast, kindly send your email to techsupport@dth.ac.in. Thank you so much.